Hello everyone, and welcome to Fire Spray Pilot Cosplay and Props. My name's David, and today we're going to review the Star Wars Black Series Commander Cody helmet. Now, this helmet was released about 4 weeks ago. Apparently, it wasn't supposed to be released until next year sometime, the first quarter of next year. However, they released it early, and it was an Amazon exclusive. Now, all of this that I'm telling you, I was not even aware of. I was just scrolling through Amazon one day. I was trying to buy a Black Series helmet for a buddy of mine, and I came across this for sale. At first, I thought it was just like, bad advertising or somebody using Black Series to try to sell a knockoff of a Commander Cody helmet, but I started doing some research on it, and in fact, there was a Black Series Amazon exclusive helmet for Commander Cody that was released. And the price was $109.99, so let's call it $110. And I don't usually look at review videos, but I looked at a couple of videos on YouTube, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this video. There's a lot of videos out there already. Like I said, this is 4 weeks ago. I'm late to the game, but I was very, very surprised. I mean, I was scrolling and I saw that and I said, what? A Commander Cody helmet? Amazing. I was like, I gotta get it. I hope they follow through and they do some more commanders as well. All right, so let's get into it. The box, all right. The box is just your regular odd-shaped Black Series box. It's got some really good artwork on it. And I gotta say off the bat that I am very impressed with this helmet, and we're gonna get to a couple of things. But here's the sides, nice artwork. Commander Cody there in all his glory. And that's it. Bottom, top, like usual, just a regular Black Series box. Now, Commander Cody, he was first seen in episode 3 of Star Wars, and that's Revenge of the Sith. That's the first time he came out. He was working on, I believe, the planet of Geonosis or Utapau, one of those two. Geonosis or Utapau, one of those two, and he was the clone marshal commander that worked directly under General Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, so the helmet itself, I gotta say that it is well done. It is a nice piece. There's only one little thing about it that, let's call it two, and that there's some issues with, but overall, if you're gonna put this on the stand somewhere or on display, on a shelf, this is an amazing looking piece. Okay, I mean, they got a lot of the details like perfect. Okay, all right, so let's just go ahead and start talking about those details. All right, Commander Cody's helmet is one of the helmets, as far as a clone trooper helmet, what they call a version 2 of the clone troopers. Okay, it's one of the more intricate helmets. It's got a lot of details on it, a lot of extra parts that the clone trooper helmets typically don't have. Okay, so he's got an antenna on this side, and obviously the biggest thing is this visor on the front. Now that can be a sun visor, it can block from shrapnel, weather, whatever, I don't know, but he does have this visor on that most clone troopers don't have. Now, a couple of clone commanders do have the visor, but this is what Commander Cody was most known for and distinguishes him from the other clones. Okay, on the face itself, he's got these serrations here. Okay, this specific pattern, which on this helmet a lot of the times are just painted onto some of the helmets. Some of the fan-made helmets, they're cast in. All right, but this is cast into the plastic. All right, it's just, you can see that it's raised here. All right, so you can definitely feel that this is three-dimensional. All right. Moving around the helmet, he's obviously got a camera here, all right, that he uses. And over here, he's got his radio with a smaller antenna. On the top, he doesn't only just have his mohawk, but he's got 2 additional straps that go alongside the mohawk, all right. And I believe that's it. On the back, he's got, regular clone trooper details as far as his vent and little round circular bit at the back, all right. The material of this helmet. So, like most Black Series helmet, it's all plastic. It is injection molded plastic, but they seem to be getting tougher and tougher. All right. I mean, this is a very, very rugged piece. I would trust that if this fell on the floor by accident, it'll totally survive the fall. All right. Unlike some of my, fan-made stuff or 3D printed stuff, even though I coat a lot of my helmets in resin and they do feel like hard plastic, almost like a motorcycle helmet, I wouldn't trust them to fall on the floor. If they fell on the ground, they're probably gonna, explode or break. That's what happens with resin. That's what happens with fiberglass. But this injection molded plastic and the thickness of this, I mean, it is just some very, very durable stuff. Okay, so I can see where this takes a fall on the ground, it'll survive it. The trade-off there is a little bit of weight, so it does have a little bit of weight to it, a little bit more than the fan-made stuff that's out there. Okay, let's see what else. The colors. Let's talk about the colors. I think the colors are good. Okay, they're pretty good. I think that they got this orange here, very, very well painted. All right, I think that's the correct color of orange. It shouldn't be a bright orange or a too dark of an orange. I think they got it just right. Okay, it's like a dulled out, a little bit darker orange, but I just think they got it right. They did a good job with it. Okay, these bands up here, they look to me to be more of a gray color. Although on camera, I think that because of the lighting, they do look the correct beige color or tan, which is what they're supposed to be. All right, but to me, they look a little gray. Okay, in person, they look a little bit gray. So, but again, not a big deal. Commander Cody also has a band. Okay, besides the gray band that goes around his the regular clone trooper head. All right, he also has a band that runs around here. So if you can see that, okay, right around here, he's got that band that goes around. Okay, now this one is kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like an odd color. It's like a very dulled out burgundy or something like that. So that should be a little bit more red. Okay, when I say more red, it's like I don't want it like fire engine red, but this should look like a wine color. Okay, so like a dark red. All right. There's a paint out there called Claret Wine. I believe Rust-Oleum makes it, and that's going to be the correct color for this. Some or a lot of the clone troopers, like if you look at the Colonial Marines, they have that wine color to their armor. If you look at Bakara, he's got that wine color on his pauldron and on his chest sniper plate and stuff like that. So there is a wine color that circulates around a lot of the clones, and that's what this should be. All right. The other stuff, this it's okay. I mean, I am gonna be repainting this helmet, by the way. So I will be repainting this stuff a little bit more of a realistic metallic type look. All right, which is very weathered. Same thing with this. All right, it's just like a gray, paint that they threw on there. Now, as you can tell with this helmet, okay, on mine, it is clean. There is no weathering. And that's because I opted to buy the Commander Cody helmet with no weathering. No, I'm just kidding, guys. There's no Commander Cody out there with no weathering. I actually used the Magic Scrub, okay, or the Magic Sponge, and I took off all the weathering from this helmet, aside from this little bit on the visor there, and a little bit on the visor on this side, because I actually thought that looked okay. But the rest of the helmet, I took all of the weathering off. Okay, it is just completely cleaned. Okay, the weather on this helmet was, I don't know, just pretty bad altogether. It's just like blotches, and again, you can look at other videos out there. It's just like blotches of gray stains that they put on it, and it's just not great. So I decided to just take it off, and I will be repainting this entire helmet and just weathering it. The other thing about it is that he is very shiny. Okay, he's got a lot of gloss to him. So when I took the Magic Sponge to him, he got rid of some of the, or I was able to get rid of some of the shininess or the gloss, and I was able to dull out certain areas. But again, with the repaint, I'll get rid of some of that gloss. And I don't know how deep I'm going to get into repainting this thing, or if I just want to weather it and just tape off some areas and hit the whole thing with a matte or satin clear coat, and that'll get rid of the gloss altogether. Like, there is no gloss on the visor, and that's how the rest of the helmet should be looking. Okay. Clone troopers are not like stormtroopers. They don't have all that gloss to their armor. Okay. All right, so the fit. The fit is just like your standard Black Series helmets. The interior is, again, molded very nicely. I like that Hasbro takes the time to put a nice interior into the helmets, which is not something that you get with the fan-made stuff. Fan-made stuff, you just throw a couple of seat cushions in there and call it a day. But with this, they actually take the time, and it looks very, very nice in there. It's very detailed, so it's something extra that, you know, they didn't have to do, but they always do. And there's your typical hard hat liner in there, which you can adjust, take it out, adjust to your head size, you know, and this is what it looks like on. There it is. There it is. Commander Cody. Now the vision out of this one, it is slightly distorted. So I'm going to call it about a 10% distortion. So you're going to have about 90% good vision out of this thing. It's going to be slightly distorted as far as the glass, but not too bad. You're going to be able to see without any issues. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Check my notes. All right. So the size of the helmet. Let me check something real quick because I like to be a little bit. Yeah, so it's about the same as the Shore Trooper helmet that I just did, somewhere similar. I would say if you have a 24-inch head, you're going to be very comfortable putting this helmet on. 24, 24 and a half, because there's about, again, I have a 22-inch circumference on my head, and I have about an inch on each side, inch to an inch, yeah, inch and a half, inch and a quarter on each side all around the helmet. So I would say that 24, 24 and a half, you should be okay wearing this helmet. All right, as far as getting your head into the helmet, the opening from front to back is 9.5, and then from side to side is 8.25. So this way, 9.5 and 8.25 horizontally from ear to ear, and that's as far as the opening. The helmet itself, the height, I'm going to call it 13.25. Actually, let's keep it, yeah, 13.25 as far as the height. From nose to back, 12.75, more or less. So 13.25 tall and 12.75 from nose to back. And then as far as how wide it is on the outside, not including the antennas, I'm going to call it at about 10 inches. Okay, so about 10 inches wide. All right. Again, it's a big helmet. All right, I'm not going to lie. It is a big helmet. All right. So the electronics, guys. Again, I'm not even going to touch on that. Okay. There's a button right here. All right. There's a compartment on the back. You take this compartment off. You put the batteries in there. And this whole round circular detail on the back of this helmet is a speaker. So you can see that there's a grill back there, there's little holes, and that's a speaker for a voice changer. The voice changers in these things are not very good at all, okay? Not very well made. If you want to get something to modulate your voice, I've always spoken about this, get a separate speaker, put it on your belt if you have a costume and stuff like that, put it somewhere on the armor, in a pouch, and just you'll wear the microphone inside the helmet, and those tend to work much better. You're gonna have to work to talk like the character and learn how to speak like the character that you want to sound like, but it'll work much better in these voice changers that come on these helmets. So again, if you want to see it, go check out the Shore Trooper helmet that I did before this one and the review on that. And I do use a voice changer on it, but I really hate using those things. Okay. All right, let's talk about the comparison. All right, because a lot of people like to see a comparison with helmets. All right, and here we go. First up, and again, the two issues that I had with the helmet are the weathering, which I already took off of this thing, right? And Then of course the size. All right. I mean, this is not a huge difference from a regular cosplay helmet or a regular clone trooper helmet, but I would say that it is about 5% bigger. Now, 5% bigger in a helmet is significant. So if I were to print one, and then I was to print another helmet 5% bigger, it'll be this size, right? So this right here is what a regular clone trooper helmet should look like. Now on camera they look almost the same, but if you're looking at them in person, you can see that there is a significant difference in these two helmets. All right, so this is going to be wider. It's not going to be as wide. All right, if I turn them sideways, okay, there you can clearly see that this is a big boy. All right, and I'm not talking about his visor. I'm talking about from nose to the back of the actual helmet, from here to here. You know, you can just tell that this is significantly different. All right, and this one here, I believe that we were at what? We said about 12 and a half, right? And this one we're at about, yeah, 11 and a quarter. So we're talking about almost a full inch of difference, right? 11 and a half, 12 and a quarter, right? We're talking about 3/4 of an inch, but it's a huge difference, okay, when you look at them like in person, right? Let's see, look at the bottom of this, right? And you can see the bottom of this. Right? You can see that, again, there's a significant difference in size here, guys, all right? But again, if you're gonna wear it as a part of a costume, you can do that, and it's going to look phenomenal because all of the Cody details are on this helmet, okay? Even the starburst around his mic tips here and stuff like that. I mean, the paint job is well done. All the details are on there that come with a Cody helmet. So it's a good looking helmet, all right? But this is a better size, okay? That's it, guys. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. All right. The last thing I want to do for you guys is I want to show you how he looks with other clone martial commanders. All right. So let's start off with this guy here. This is Clone Commander Neo. And then on this side, we'll put Clone Marshal Commander 1138, Bakara. There you go. So those are the three commanders. I used to have a Cody helmet that I made. I sold that one a while ago. I'm probably going to print another one up and make another Cody helmet and pin it up just to have a fan-made helmet. But this is a great looking piece, guys. If you're going to have it on a shelf and you're going to have it there just on a display, or if you want to wear it as part of a costume, it's going to do the job. It's going to look really, really like great. Okay, and you can see how he looks with the rest of the commanders here, the other helmets. I mean, he looks very good. Okay, there's no doubting that that is Commander Cody's helmet. Okay. All right, so again, that's it. Thank you again for watching. If you have any comments, like I said, or questions, go ahead and ask in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, you guys keep costuming, and you be easy. Take care.